Hey Bears fans, before we get into today's video, we're doing a little challenge here at Chat Sports this week. The most comments on each video, and really for the week as well. We had one person, just one person watching our Titans video over on our Titans channel. He commented over 53 times on that video, 53 separate comments, and I said, okay, Titans has like 4,000 subscribers on it. We got almost 50,000 here. So I'm challenging all of you. Can one of you comment 54 times or more on this video? And you're thinking, I can't come up with 54 different comments. Well, just type FGB 54 different times. We all hate the Packers. Get the passion going. I want to set a record here on comments here at Chat Sports and on this channel. By the way, our Raiders video that did this yesterday, it's approaching 3,000 comments. So stiff competition here, but I believe in you guys. Type FGB 54 times or more, and let's get this party started here on Bears Now. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Appreciate all of you who are already getting in the comment section and living up to that challenge. Coming up here in a little bit, we're going to take a look at some OTA winners and losers from Week 1 of Chicago Bears OTAs, so stay tuned for that. But first, Matt Eberflus joined the Rich Eisen Show and talked about a variety of topics, including Justin Fields, of course. He's always the headliner when these coaches talk to the media. And he's pleased with Justin Fields, as are the rest of the Bears coaching staff and Ryan Poles and players. Unlike the national media, the Bears are very comfortable with where they sit this offseason with their team and with this quarterback. Pointed to a couple of things specifically, footwork and timing, as two key areas of improvement. Here's more from Eberflus. Quote, "We're going to build this offense around him and his skill set. We're saying, what can he do? What does he do well? Let's enhance that. That's what we're doing. We have a great offensive line coach in Chris Morgan, paired with our offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, who has a really innovative mind. He comes from that Shanahan-Kubiak tree of the wide stretch zone and play action pass. The whole thing is built off that. If we run the ball really well, which we will because of our line and the way we're going to operate, we're going to open up a lot of windows for our quarterback. The system is really QB friendly. It's won Super Bowls. You can see what it did last year for Stafford." I like a couple of things he said there. He said, if we run the ball really well, which we will, things will open up. I like that confidence for Matt Eberflus. This staff and system are going to help Justin Fields tremendously, and just natural growth from year 1 to year 2 is going to make him a much better quarterback. I truly believe that. They're confident in what they can do schematically to help this offensive line as well. I would personally still like to add a piece up front and still think they might, but schematically alone should help out the offensive front as well, and I think that's very, very important. Nagy's scheme fell apart. Hopefully this one comes together very, very nicely. And I do think another point, getting back to the run game there, the efficiency there will be key because this is a team that is built to run the football. The good linemen they do have, Cody Whitehair, much better run blocker than pass blocker. That was definitely the case last year. And if you're going to run the football, you need to be good in a run blocking scheme. And I think they have a few guys who can do that. I think Tevin Jenkins projects as a good run blocker as well. So if this team's getting 4.5, 5 yards a carry on the ground, that really sets up everything in this zone scheme offense. So I think that's going to be critical for success for this offense this year. Matt Eberflus seems to feel good about it. How hyped are you for Luke Getsy and this offense? Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I don't know who the hell he is. I don't know if he's going to be good at all. 10 being you're very hyped, you're excited, you think there's no way it can fail. I'm like at 7 or 8. I'm pretty optimistic. Obviously, we have to see it put into action later into camp, into preseason, and obviously starting in Week 1 when the games actually count. But I do think there's good reasons to be optimistic and have success. Scale it from 1 to 10 about how excited you are for Luke Getsy. More from Eberflus on the Rich Eisen Show. This was specifically on Justin Fields. He said this, quote, "He's grown leaps and bounds in the last few months. His footwork has really improved. The timing of the passing game has really improved. His decision-making has really improved. We're doing a great job as a staff of working on the details of all of that. He's been a big sponge soaking everything in. He's a fast learner. The guy is super smart. He's taking command of the offense." So when you read these articles from the national media or these talking heads of, the Bears, they're setting Fields up to fail or Justin Fields doesn't have what it takes. Well, the Bears feel good about it. If the Bears feel good about where they're at, where Fields is at, that's really all that matters. Now, they're going to have to prove it to all of us once the games actually start, but if they're comfortable, then we should at least take them at their word until proven otherwise, right? I'm not saying we should blindly say, oh, yeah, this receiving core is going to be awesome. This offensive line is going to be elite. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if the Bears say they like Justin Fields and where he's at, I'm going to trust that over what Skip Bayless says on Undisputed. That's just how I'm going to feel because they're in the building every day. Skip Bayless doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to the Chicago Bears. So the Bears are happy with them. I don't have any reason to not be happy with how things sit with Justin Fields. Would I like to add a piece or two around him? Yes. It's also still the middle of May. I think things could still happen on that front. I'm a set an over-under 25 total touchdowns for Fields this year. Type O for over, type U for under. That includes passing, rushing, who knows, trick play, receiving, maybe a little Philly, Chicago special. Who knows? O for over, U for under. 25 touchdowns for Justin Fields this year. Follow us on Rumble because we publish all of our videos over there. And cool thing about Rumble, I think my favorite feature about Rumble is if you're listening on your phone or your tablet, you can open up other apps and still listen to the video podcast style. It's not going to pause the video like it would here on YouTube. You can keep playing it. So you open up that text from your buddy, the video is going to keep playing. You can still listen, text them back, whatever. You're all good to go. You can find other content on Rumble from other content creators, sports creators, news, politics, tech, business. I saw a guy last night giving you daily crypto updates if you're into that sort of thing. All kinds of stuff over on Rumble, rumble.com/Bears. Now, give us a follow over there for more Bears content, but also you can find other cool stuff on that video platform as well. Okay, let's get into some Bears OTAs winners and losers. And, with Eberflus talking about Justin Fields, I think that kind of ties into this. We'll get more to him in a moment. But let's get this thing going. Number one, Kyler Gordon, and he is a winner for me. Kyler Gordon, a OTA winner for the Chicago Bears. When your head coach, 2 practices in to voluntary OTA, says he's been lighting it up, you're a winner. I mean, that's just kind of how this goes. Eberflus straight up said he's been lighting it up with his coverage skills, with the plays he's been making. I know he had an interception of Trevor Siemian one day as well. What he did at Washington last year appears to be translating so far. It's early. They're in T-shirts and helmets. It's, this is not the real deal, but so far so good for Kyler Gordon. And let's be honest, they need to hit on him because they took him with their first pick early there in the second round. Let's go back to Justin Fields, who Matt Eberflus was praising on the Rich Eisen Show. Anyone that gets asked about this guy says nothing but good things. So I think he's got to be an OTA winner. He's taking control. He's learning the offense. He is walking around as if he's the leader of this football team. All signs are positive around Justin Fields. He had that one poor voluntary practice a month ago before the draft, and everybody freaked out. Guys, that's going to happen. He's going to have good days. He's going to have bad days. I'm not saying he's never going to have a bad practice again. I'm just saying the vibes are immaculate and everything seems good so far. I think you're going to see a major improvement both statistically and just from a pure confidence, composure, leadership, and just running the offense standpoint. I think they're going to build around his strengths, which is what they keep saying they're doing right now. A lot of the chatter out of Halas Hall is they're getting him on the move. They're doing the play action stuff we were begging Matt Nagy to do last year, and he refused to do it. I'm feeling good energy, good vibes with where this quarterback is right now. I'm not saying if they played a game tomorrow, he'd be a top 10 quarterback in the league. What I am saying is if he continues on this trajectory and has a strong training camp on into the preseason and into the regular season, Justin Fields could surprise some people this year. Do not be surprised if that happens. Are you a Justin Fields truther? Because I am. If you are, type me, and remember, we're trying to set records on comments and beat all the other channels here at Chat Sports. So, hey, you could type me in 54 different messages if you'd like. And, hey, you could be that number one commenter here on today's show. One more OTA winner, and then we'll get to a couple of losers, although I wouldn't really say there were any, big-time losers per se. We'll explain in a moment on that. Lucas Patrick. Lucas Patrick has already established himself as a leader on this football team. When your free agent center signing is talking to the media after the first or second practice or whatever it is, that speaks volumes. He's a center. Not a lot of offensive linemen meet with the media, but he's become that rah-rah guy. He is becoming the focal point of this offensive line. He's talked about the relationship he's built with Justin Fields already, how impressed he's been with the quarterback. I think he's the anchor of this unit right now, and that's critical. You need that center-quarterback relationship to be on the same page. He's the leader of this offensive line already, which I think is very, very impressive for him coming in here just a couple of months ago and already taking that challenge on and really running with it. I've been impressed with him. You listen to him talk, there's no BS. It's all business. He's looking great, man. I think that's going to be a major upgrade on this team, going from Sam Mustipher to Lucas Patrick. All right, a couple of losers here. And again, loser's a loose term in OTAs, right? They're voluntary practices. I mean, guys like Robert Quinn haven't even been there, so keep that in mind. But Jaylon Johnson, not necessarily because of poor play, but Matt Eberflus did say the term, quote, he's a work in progress. And, you're probably thinking year 3 corner. He's played pretty well through 2 seasons, as you guys can see. He's been a really good corner through 2 years, in my opinion. And Jaylon Johnson acknowledged this, what he did for the prior regime doesn't really matter. He's still a young player that's learning. He's got to prove it to Matt Eberflus and Alan Williams and Ryan Poles that he could be that CB1 for this football team. I believe that Matt Eberflus is challenging Jaylon Johnson, saying, hey, prove to me that you're that guy. We just drafted Kyler Gordon. If he comes in here and balls out, that's the guy we're tied to. We picked him. We didn't pick you. I think they like Jaylon Johnson. I think they believe in him, but I think they're sending a little message early on here like, hey, how are you going to respond? We're challenging you a little bit, even publicly. How is Jaylon Johnson going to take that? I hope he'll take it well, and I hope he's going to have a strong offseason and be that leader of this secondary that I think he can be. Is Jaylon Johnson going to have his best season yet? I think this system suits him well. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Jaylon Johnson being challenged by Matt Eberflus, and I like it quite a bit. Okay, last loser here, Akeem Hicks fans. Some not angry fans, that might be a little strong. How about just sentimental and upset fans, because Akeem Hicks posted on Instagram a couple of days ago during OTAs of him sacking Aaron Rodgers, and everybody was like, what does it mean? Is Akeem Hicks coming back? That post was deleted very quickly, and then later on he tweeted this out. He goes, my bad, y'all. Didn't mean to get your hopes up. I was looking through some old pictures on the way to the gym. Look, tease the Bears fans a little bit. Still unsigned in free agency. I know a lot of you guys, and I like Akeem Hicks too. He was the heart and soul of this defense, if not the entire team, over the past few years. We don't know where he's going to end up. Could he end up back in Chicago? Maybe that was a little bit of a message to the franchise that he's still open to it, even though it was clear with the last regime he was done with Nagy and Pace and that group. But I said, new regime, keep that door open. I wouldn't completely close the door. So I'll ask you guys, and I think I know the answer. Should the Bears sign Akeem Hicks? Type S for sign, type P for pass. As soon as the Larry Ogunjobi deal fell through, I think this possibility at least slightly reopened. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button here on the channel, youtube.com/Bears Now. We'll have more Bears news, rumors, and other videos as well. And remember, comment. We're trying to catch up to these other channels for the week. They're lapping us here over the last couple of days. Let's set a record. Type whatever you want below, but FGB is always fun because no one likes the Packers. All right, I'm Harrison Graham. We'll see you soon here on Bears Now.